Here's a portion of a recent program on Book TV.
Well, maybe when this started coming to my mind, I'm sitting on the 10th Circuit, Federal Court of Appeals. Case comes before me from New Mexico in my circuit. 7th grader. He traded burps for laughs. Now, you might have been guilty of that someday too. I probably was. And instead of going to the principal's office or his parents being called, he was arrested and handcuffed. That's how we're dealing with these things today. And we'll get into why. But what is the scope of the problem? It's part of its administrative actions for sure, but it's on all levels. We're all guilty of it, all right? 100 years ago, the entire federal code could fit into one slim volume. Today, it occupies a whole wall in my office, all right? It's doubled in size since the 1980s, all right? That's my lifetime, many of you in this room. How many criminal laws are there on the books? Nobody knows. In the Reagan administration, somebody sat down to try and read them all and to count them, and they're just scattered throughout. They gave up, estimated around 3,000, all right? Today, it's probably double that. It's at least 5,000 criminal laws today on the federal level. What about regulatory output? Because really, statutory output's just the tip of the iceberg. You think Congress isn't busy? Did you know that on average, they enact laws amounting to 2 to 3 million new words every year? Okay. Federal regulatory output, many, many times that. 100 years ago, the Federal Register, which is where they write their rules and publish them, was 16 pages long in the year it started. Recently, it averages 60 to 70,000 pages every single year. How many crimes are in those regulations? Truly, nobody knows the answer to that, but there are at least 300,000 of them. So that's kind of the scope of the growth of law in just really my lifetime, since about 1970. There are more people serving life sentences today in our prisons than there were serving any sentence in 1970. So 1 out of 47 Americans is subject to some form of correctional supervision today. That's all new. That's not the New Deal. That's our lifetimes. So that's what I wanted to really explore and write about, and how it impacts our liberties, our institutions, and maybe even our respect for law itself.
You can watch the rest of this program and all of our book programs anytime online at booktv.org.